This month of January, I'm starting a new series. It's called The Courage. And I'm going to talk about what is the biblical perspective on courage with you guys from Bible. And who comes to your mind if I ask you a question, or if you hear the word courage? There are a lot of people in Bible. Who comes to your mind? Anybody? Come on, read your Bible. Daniel, yes, he is a courageous man, yes. Anybody else? Daniel is a courageous man from Bible. Anybody else? Paul, yeah, he is courageous too, yeah. Anybody else? Who? Abraham, he is one courageous man too. But I know all those, people you listed are awesome and courageous, but I picked somebody maybe you expected, but maybe you did not expect at all. It's Joseph. And we're going to talk about courage from the Bible passage about Joseph, which is from Genesis. Every time I start a series, I ask you a favor. And this time I will ask you the same favor, which is, you know what that is, right? Read your Bible, okay? This month of January, I'm going to talk about the story of Joseph. So I want you to read, if it's possible, if you feel like you have enough free time in your life, please read a whole Genesis. This is a good book to start, Bible reading with. So please read Genesis. And if you feel like you are too busy, then please read the part where Joseph appears in the book of Genesis. So, can you do that? Yes? Thank you. Okay, we're going to start the series right now. Reading the very first part we're going to talk about from the Bible, this series, which is Genesis chapter 41, verse 8 to 16. We have this Bible passage on the screen, in the bulletin, and amazingly enough, it's in the Bible too. All right. It's chapter 41, verse 8 through 16. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to read all the even verses. You read all the odd verses, okay? Let's do it. In the morning, his mind was troubled, so he sent for all the magicians and wise men of Egypt. Pharaoh told them his dreams, but no one could interpret them for him. Pharaoh was once angry with his servants, and he imprisoned me and the chief baker in the house of the captain of the guard. Now a young Hebrew was there with us, a servant of the captain of the guard. We told him our dreams, and he interpreted them for us, giving each man the interpretation of his dream. So Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and he was quickly brought from the dungeon. When he had shaved and changed his clothes, he came before Pharaoh. Okay, we're going to read the last verse together. I cannot do it, Joseph replied to Pharaoh, but God will give Pharaoh the answer he desires. All right. Let me ask you a question. Are you courageous? Do you consider yourself a courageous person? You do? If you think you are a courageous person, can you nod your head a little bit? Courageously? No? You all get scared really easily? Yeah? Hey, then do you think I am courageous? Okay, you're just laughing. You're like, yeah, what are you saying? Don't even mention it. You're like, don't even think about it. My wife is here today, and she knows that I am not courageous person. Actually, it depends on what kind of situation you're in, right? sometimes you are, maybe you see yourself kind of courageous person. Sometimes you feel like you are not courageous at all. But well, if I have to tell you about myself, I'll say I am most of the time I'm not courageous at all. And I can tell you thousands of stories, when I wasn't really super courageous. But I'll tell you just one story. It was like a couple years ago. I was driving, and it was in winter time too, like like now, and it snowed a lot, like few days. And then I was driving. Road was very, very slippery, all snowy, and I was very careful just driving. And then, I always drive like this, because I'm really cool, No, I'm actually kidding. I always drive like this. and I saw the a stoplight, changing from green to red. So I was like just getting ready to stop. So I put my foot on the brake, and then my vehicle was just stopping. But the thing is, it was too slippery, so it just didn't stop. Like just one moment, it just went on and on, and it just kept going. I'm like, what's going on here? I started getting scared. And then what I saw was in front of my car, there was one car just stop and waiting for the stoplight. That car was Audi. That 4 circles? That logo? That car, Audi vehicle, was waiting for me to hit it. And my car, my little red, that poor thing, just kept going. And I felt like, I don't know what to do, I stopped the car already by putting my foot on the brake, but it just kept going because the road was too slippery, and that Audi was just coming to me, and I was like praying, Jesus, if you're gonna come, you gotta come now. I'm like, no, and I was getting closer and closer and closer and closer. But very thankfully, I didn't hit the car. I stopped having this much distance in between that car and my car. And looking at your face, you feel like I feel like you're thinking, I gotta hit that car. Then story would be much more fun. But I didn't hit the car. But I realized once again, I'm not really a courageous person at all. I was like, I'm going into hell right now. But the thing is, it's being courageous. Maybe it's not really easy thing to do. It's not really that something we do all the time. Like I'm courageous every day. But behind this, I think there is a concept or idea, that definition maybe about courage. When we hear the word courage, what we really think of is it's more like I can do it. I can do something. I can overcome. I can take this. I can, go it. I can go beyond this. I can handle this. Everything is about courage is, from our view, is I can something. I can do it. I can handle it. I can overcome. I can do anything. That is courage, as far as we know. But Bible actually talks about courage in a different light. I don't know how many of you are really familiar with the story of Joseph, but let me just summarize what happened to this man. He was 11th son to his father named Jacob, and Jacob, his father, kind of had a favoritism over his son Joseph, and all other his brothers didn't like him much. How many of you have a brother or sister, or the thing your parents kind of raised other than you, and you didn't really understand why they kept the thing? Anybody? Brother? Sister? You have a brother? Yeah, raise your hand if you have a brother. Yes, thank you. Yeah. And all other people don't have any sibling at all? Okay, thank you. I don't know, maybe I told you this already, but I have a brother, and he's a year younger than me, and he's been bigger than me since when I was a second grader. And we fought every day. And I've always wanted to kill him, but he's still alive. because I didn't take that into action. So he's still alive, you know. He lives in States right now. But you know, even living with just regular brothers or regular sisters, just ordinary thing, you know, that your parents kind of have other than you in your family, you do happen to have like, a lot of fights, a lot of argument, right? But this case, this father Jacob had a very extreme favoritism over Joseph, and obviously there is no peace. And then these 11 brothers, 10 brothers decided to sell Joseph because they're not happy with this guy. You never sold any brother to anybody, right? Yeah, I mean, it's extreme. But what happened is the main, what should I say, the story that made this Joseph to be hated by his brothers was he had two weird dreams. And if you have this kind of dream, you would like, what a just, not, it's like stupid dream, and like you will just forget about it. But Joseph was smart enough to share that with his brother. So, I mean, just summarizing the dreams, he was like all the stars, the moon, the sun bow down to him, that kind of dream. And his brothers kind of realized that, are you saying that we're going to bow to you later? And then he's saying, I don't really know. You know, I'm just sharing this dream with you. You know, I just had this dream. You know, that sounds like fun. And then they didn't like the dream. They didn't like Joseph. They didn't like anything. So they sold him to Egypt as a slavery. So he was a slave for a while, and then he happened to be a so-called master slave, or slave that was had enough trust from his master. But later on, master's wife, maybe he was a good-looking guy like me, I don't really know, but master's wife felt like, oh, you know, I like this boy and I want to do something with this boy. You know, I will not go any more detail because this is church, but you know, and then Joseph ran away from her, and then there was a trap. He happened to go to prison, and who was in the prison for a while. Anyway, it's just long story short, he was in a very, very bad situation, very, very bad setting for many, many years. Now, talking about today's story, this Pharaoh had a weird dream. The story of Joseph had a lot of weird dreams, but he wasn't really feeling comfortable with this dream, so he called all the smart people from the country, but none of the people could interpret the dream for him. And then later, you all know the story, but the cupbearer, he remembered that he got help from Joseph, the master dream interpreter. So he was telling Pharaoh, hey, you know what? There was a guy who's really good at this. You gotta, you know, bring him out from the prison and ask him to do this. Now the moment of life has come to Joseph. Wow, it is a long story. Okay, now is the Pharaoh asking this question to Joseph. Hey, I heard that you are good at interpreting dreams. So I want to ask you this question. Can you interpret my dream? Now think about it. If you are in Joseph's situation, how would you answer that question? After, from the Bible, it says 13 years of being slave and being imprisoned for 13 years. Now he finally got the moment, the chance to change everything of his life. Now this guy's asking, the king is asking, hey, I heard that you're good at this. Can you interpret my dream? How would you answer the question? If I were in Joseph's case, Joseph's situation, I would answer like this. You know what? I would give him my business card. Hey, I can tell you more about your dream. You know, call me anytime. My email is, you know, dreamerjoe@egypt.org. You know, how would you answer that question? The greatest chance he ever imagined has come to his life finally. You obviously gotta say what? Sure, I can do it. I've done this many times already. I am so good at this. You found the right person. You know, wouldn't you answer like that? But you know how Joseph answered to Pharaoh to this question? This is what he said. Stupid person. Maybe I don't know, from your view, from my view too, he said, I cannot do it. Can you even imagine that? After 13 years of being a slave, a prisoner, now he got the chance, but he's saying, hey, can you interpret my dream? Everything will change if you can do this. But he's saying, I cannot do it. You know, courage we talk about usually is this: I can do it. I can overcome. I can take this. I can handle it. I can do it. That's the courage we always talk about, we always think of. But courage from Bible starts with this. Maybe it sounds so stupid and silly to you, but it starts with this stupid, simple phrase, which is this: I cannot do it. I cannot do it. Different type of courage. You know, we have a baseball team. I talked about our baseball team at this church a few times. And we won 2 championships like a couple years ago, and won like first place pretty much almost like every season. Okay, you look like so bored with this information, but it is a really amazing thing, because winning championship 2 years in a row, you know, first place every season. Come on, you gotta show me some reaction here. Thank you. All right. You know, I mean, isn't it? I mean, we won 2 championships 2 years in a row, first place pretty much every year. I mean, I'm sharing this information with you because I was the manager of the team. You know, and many people ask me that question: how come your team is so good? I know that, you know, because we never practice. Seriously, whenever I call our baseball team members to come for practice, they don't come. And then when I call them to come to play a game, then they come. They were like, oh, practice is boring. Playing game is fun. So people ask me a question: how can your team be this good? And I always tell them the right answer, which is this: because the manager is good. Again, who's the manager here? That's right. You know, I am a good manager. I am the, you know why I am the best manager ever for the baseball team? Because I have the best strategy for winning. And I'm gonna share this with you, just with you, because I never share this with anybody else, because this is a secret to our winning. Our strategy to win and our baseball team is this: I don't play. I let other players play. I learned that every time I played, we lost. Every time I'm at bat, we get more strikeouts. Every time I play fielding, we got more errors. Every time I pitch, we give them more runs. So I kind of learned that every time I play, we lose. So best strategy for this baseball team as a manager, I know, you know what? It was extremely hard to admit that. I shouldn't play. And then we started winning to all the way. Courage, Bible talks about as different type of courage. Like I said, when we think of courage, we always go with I can do it, I can overcome, I can, handle this, I can take it, I can take this problem, it's not a problem, I can do it. That's the courage we always think of, we usually think of, but Bible talks of different type of courage, which is courage, which is this. It starts with this: I cannot do it. Because it needs more courage to say it than saying, I can do it. Why? Because when you say, I cannot do it, again, when you say, I cannot do it, then you realize He can do it. When you say, I can do it, I can overcome, I can take it, then there's no space for you to seek Him working in the situation. But when you say, I cannot do it, I'll admit it. I'll face it. I cannot do it, but I will trust you. I want you to do it. I want to see you working in this problem. But the thing is, this kind of courage needs humility. And when we talk about humility, I don't know what kind of idea you have about humility, but we usually come up with the idea that we lower ourselves in front of other people, right? But we gotta have a more right definition, more correct definition of humility to understand humility. How about this? If I say, hey, I'm not that good-looking man. If I say this to you, am I being humble now? Okay, not a hard question. I'm not that good-looking man. Am I being humble right now? No, I'm lying. Okay? I'm lying. I am a good-looking man. No, I want you to communicate this with you, and talking about humility. Humility is not just about lowering yourself. No. You know what humility is? Humility is to see the actual reality. To be even brutally honest with God. Humility, that's why, starts with amazing level of courage. God, I cannot do this. I need you. I need your help. There was a young lady, girl, who used to come to our church, and she played piano as a professional pianist, and she used to give out lessons to different students. And one day she kakao talked me, saying, "Pastor, do you have a time?" So I said, "Yeah, sure. What's up?" And then she said, "I am giving this tutor or lesson to one of my students, and she's one of my students. Her name is Ji-yoon, and she doesn't really have a good relationship with her mother, and it was too serious. And I was telling the mother, if your daughter Ji-yoon meets with Pastor Sunny, the situation maybe will get better. So can you meet with her?" That's what she was saying to me. I'm like, what are you saying? How can I do that? But I didn't say that. Because I'm a pastor, so sure, yeah, I'll meet with her. So a few days later, I had a lunch with Ji-yoon, and I bought her a pizza. So I heard about her situation. The thing is, she was just ordinary student. She had 3 problems with her mom. Number 1, she doesn't want to study. Okay? Number 2, whenever she hangs out with her friends, she doesn't want to come home too early. She wants to, come home kind of late at night. But her mom wasn't really happy with that. Number 3, whenever she gets allowance, she wants to spend it all very soon. Now let me ask you a question. Is there any students, who wants to come home early, after hanging out with their friends? And then is there any student who saves up the allowance so that she or he can give some of the money back to the parents? Is there any student who is just willing to study every day, every moment? Is there any student like that? That student is not normal, right? Yeah, she's like a Martian or something. But this one was just totally normal. She doesn't want to study. She wants to hang out with her friends, stay out late, and it's just perfectly normal. But the thing is, it was a communication problem. So I asked her, hey, listen. This is what I told her. Mother is there for you to use, and you are not doing it well. You gotta take every drop of advantage you can get from her, but you're not doing it wisely. Let me ask you a question. When you go to college, are you gonna go to college with your own money or with your mother's money? She said, "Yeah, of course my mother's money." Then you gotta do it really well. When you get married, are you gonna get married with your own money or your mother's money? And then she said, "Of course with my mother's money, I'm gonna get married." Well, if you want to do that, you gotta really do it very, wisely. And I said, how do you communicate with your mom? I don't really do much. I just stay in my room. I don't really do much, I don't really talk to her. So I said, you got to talk to her. And then she said, I don't know how to talk to her. I don't know what to say. So I said, you got to say 3 things. Just repeat them. 3 things. Number 1, thank you, Mom. Number 2, I'm really sorry, Mom. Number 3, I'll do better. And then she said, but I don't feel that way. Doesn't really matter. It's a magic word. Just say them. And then she's like, I'm trying to be good son, good daughter. So I said, no, you don't have to. Just say these 3 things. Repeat over and over and over again. That your mom will be, will treat you better. And then I asked her, hey, how do you do with your dad? When your dad comes home from work, what do you do? She said, I stay in my room. No. Your father is gold mine. What are you doing? Every time he comes back home from work, you gotta just jump out of your room, and you gotta hit the what should I say, the hot spot. And she's like, where is the hot spot? Okay, I need a father now. Any volunteer? Dr. Penley, can you help me here? Can you help me here? Come on. Yeah, I need you. Come on. I'm not gonna hurt you. I cannot hurt you. Okay. I'll go down here. All right. Father's spot. Hot spot. Father's hot spot. Do we have any daughters? We have one daughter who's single. Okay. Hot spot is here. And how do you hit the hot spot like this? You got to use top of your head and spin it here like this. And then say these 3 magic words over and over again. I'm really sorry, Dad. I thank you. I'll do better. And then cash will flow from his pocket unendingly. All right, thank you, Dr. Penlin. Okay, please give him hands. And then I, told her all these, and then she went back home. Like a week later, I got a text from her mom, which was saying, it was in Korean. Let me translate that for you. Which was saying, hello, Pastor Sunny. This is Jiun's mom. And, wait. Almost there. Hang on with me. My phone is a little slow. So how are you, everybody? Okay. There. All right. Hello, Pastor Sunny. This is Jiun's mom. Thank you that you guided my daughter with the good words. I think she's changed. Later on, she was explaining how she felt to her father. It was way different than before. And just looking at that, I almost cried. Thank you again. I will visit you and to express my thankfulness to you again. Thank you again. Isn't it amazing? And then I got a text from the young girl who introduced Jiun to me. Pastor Sunny, I heard that Jiun's mom was saying my daughter's changed. I was like, what happened? And it is you, Pastor Sunny. Thank you again. I gotta get some advice from you too later on. I got all these complicated things going on, thoughts going on in my mind, but I believe that you're gonna solve that too. So anyway, case taken care of. But just after this story, this incident, I have 2 daughters too. I was kind of thinking, what kind of words would hurt me most possibly from my daughter's mouth? And I was thinking, it wasn't like, Daddy, I stole your credit card and I just purchased new Porsche with your car. I don't know if it's even possible, but it wasn't really that. It wasn't even like, Daddy, I am pregnant with my boyfriend, and he's like high school student. It wasn't even that. It's really bad. I know. It breaks my heart, but it doesn't break my heart the most. There was actually something else. It's not really that like, I got a call from my daughter saying, hey, Daddy, I'm in China now, and I want you to pick me up. Come here and take me home. It wasn't even that. It's really bad, but it's not the worst word that I can hear from my daughter's mouth that breaks my heart. You know what that is? The worst thing I can ever hear from my daughter's mouth that will break my heart is this: Daddy, I don't need you. I think that will just break my heart really, really bad as a dad. You know, the true courage we gotta learn from Bible. It's not that like I can do it. The thing is, and there's no part in the Bible that's God saying, you know what, I want you to do these kind of things on your own. God never says that. You know what he actually says instead? He says this: you know what? You cannot do it. You gotta admit it. You gotta see the reality. But you know what? I can do it. I will help you. And I want you to trust me. That's the courage God asks us to have. 2,000 years ago, there was a man hanging on the tree, being murdered brutally. Why? Why? Because we cannot take care of our own sins. We cannot even take care of our own, like, even a little part of our own life. But God is showing us this amazing sign, which is this: you know what? You cannot do anything on your own, but I will be there. I will work in your life. I will walk with you. And I want you to trust me. I want you to have that kind of courage. Courage of trust, courage of humility. Are you a courageous person? I want you to respond to that call. God, I cannot do it. I need you. And I will trust you. This time I'd like to have a time of reflection and prayer. I don't know what kind of life situation you're in right now. Maybe you are at the midst of just storms. You feel like it's hopeless. It's too painful. You feel like there's no way out. Maybe it is the time you need courage most. But as you reflect this time, as you pray, I want you to hear God's whispering to your heart. Hey, listen. You cannot do it. You need me. And as we hear that whispering, I want you to say this prayer: God, please help me to be honest with you. Please help me to just be myself. Just say that I cannot do this. I need you. And help me to have faith to trust you. Trust you. Let's pray.